What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today I've got a short video that features an accessory that fixes one of the biggest problems that the DJI Osmo Pocket has, which is its tight field of view, or at least I thought it would. So the tight frame of the Osmo Pocket is fine for shooting B-roll or for shooting other subjects, but as a personal camera, when you're trying to vlog, by holding the camera up in front of you, filming yourself, or if you're just trying to film something in front of you, like an action that you're doing, it's just kind of tough. Being sort of like a one-man show on my YouTube channel, trying to be in front of the camera while trying to also operate the camera is really tough, and I know how important it is to have a wide-angle lens because it's really easy to operate the camera as it's closer to you, and it feels awkward when the camera's too far away. So once I heard about this wide-angle attachment for the Osmo Pocket, I jumped on it immediately. So here is the attachment. It's pretty small, and I think that it's made of metal, but its weight doesn't affect the performance of the gimbal, so you do not have to worry. Now, the way that it attaches is by magnets, just like the common ND filter sets, and you want to attach this filter after you turn on the device. As you can see here, it interferes with the initial calibration. It sort of like collides with the bottom portion of the body, and since you don't have to screw these filters on and it just attaches by a magnet, you don't have to fight with the motors, but still be gentle with the gimbal when you're placing it on and it's turned on. Now, with the Osmo Pocket's camera, we have a fixed field of view of 80 degrees, which is not that generous, especially when holding the Osmo Pocket up to film yourself. Attaching the wide-angle lens, now we get a field of view of 100 degrees, and as you can see, it definitely causes a good amount of distortion. There's also some noticeable vignetting around the edges, and it also seems to get blurry as you move outward. You can see by the trees in the top left corner and the building on the right side. The center of the frame is still like in focus, it's still sharp, but the edges are really questionable. Now, if you don't have many straight lines in your shot, you might not be able to tell that the image is warped, but when you begin shooting an object straight on, the fisheye effect pretty much screams at you. Look, if you come from shooting with like a GoPro or one of those cheap Chinese action cameras, you know exactly what this distortion looks like. You're probably very familiar with it, and some of you might actually like that style, but it's just not for me. So I went into Adobe Premiere Pro and fixed the lens distortion, which still is wider than if I wasn't using this lens, but just look at those corners. It falls apart when I change the curvature to -14 to try and straighten the image out to the point where it totally ruins the whole shot. And honestly, I don't think that those lines on the bottom are even straight. I guess that this could be a good pickup if you've got the Osmo Pocket and you're pretty much only using it for vlogging and you've got it in your face all day long. You don't care if the outside of the frame is, blurry or out of focus. You only care about your face in the sensor, but I'd rather go with a setup like this one right here that I showed in my last Osmo Pocket video, where I pretty much attach my iPhone to my GorillaPod, and then the Osmo Pocket hangs from the lightning port off of the side. I did this for the video I made on the parachute system for the Phantom 4 Pro. I used it as I sort of walked across the field and was vlogging, and I was actually really happy with the results. I didn't feel like the camera was all up in my face. Another downfall to using this wide angle attachment is that it takes the spot of your ND filter, and for example, when I was taking those shots in the beginning over near the pool, it was really bright outside and my shutter was up to like 5,000 or 6,000, and that produces footage that is just unusable in my opinion. So you'd have to choose whether you want a wide angle lens or if you want to use an ND filter to bring that shutter down. So at the end of the day, I really feel bad reviewing this thing, and I hate going and showing things on my channel that I don't like. The reason most of my reviews are positive is because I don't go out of my way to try things that suck. But for me, I was really amped about this wide angle lens, and I know a lot of people out there are complaining about that tight field of view, and I see a lot of people vlogging and their face dominates the frame. So I think this wide angle lens could really help, but I just don't think that it's worth it. Now, it is only like $15. I'll leave a link down in the description. You can pick it up if you just want to mess around with it, but the results I've been getting just really don't make it worth it. Now, I'd be interested in trying out some other wide angle lens options available. I know that there's a couple available on Amazon, so if you guys have a different brand than the one I'm using, than the one I'm leaving in the description in the Amazon link, then let me know because I'd love to find one that actually works. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.